Everybody just stand by here. We'll open the show with the Roundtable Band.
CQ on the air tonight. Well, Roundtable's lit and the signal's tight. Per static fades, I twist the knob. The shack comes alive, this is my job. LEDs glow, antennas high. Another night beneath the sky. I'm calling out, hear that tone. Across the globe, I'm not alone. The net's alive and I'm checking in. Let the conversation begin. We're at the amateur radio roundtable. We're all plugged in, solid and stable. W5KUB's calling loud and proud, spinning stories through the static cloud. From KW5GP to WI7BG, we're rocking the bands wild and free. Hey, Glenn's got mods on a breadboard bass. Brett's breaking news from a distant place. Tom's at the helm like a seasoned vet, streaming it live on the internet. Antenna swing, the skip is long. We're singing the ham radio song. Spin that dial, let's catch some heat. 40 meters never felt so sweet. But at the amateur radio roundtable, with coax lines and power cables, Deeks, Patricians, QSLs, we got more ham than a southern belle. From KW5GP to WI7BG, we're working the world wild and free. Well, yeah, rockin' worldwide. Mic in hand and a call sign, pride. Oh, yeah, the amateur radio roundtable. Story strong and signal stable. So key it up and call your name in this wild RF Hall of Fame. From KW5GP to you and me, we're having hard 7 and 3. CQ out. Hammond hard 7-3. Da, 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 out.
All right, guys. I don't know if you realized it, but in that song, the dot, 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 it's supposed to be Morse code. There's a secret message in there. Maybe you can decipher it sometime. But anyway, hey, I want to say, first of all, opening the show, hello to our friend Jeff, Pastor Jeff, over in Tuckasegee, North Carolina. KM4QBC is in here tonight. I don't know where he is. I guess he's watching us on Facebook. I just saw him put a post on Facebook. So you never know where people are watching us. We're on X tonight. We're on Facebook group, and we're also on YouTube. And we may expand that a little later to Twitch TV and maybe some of the others here in the near future. All right, so this is Amateur Radio Roundtable. It's a show about ham radio, shortwave, amateur radio, electronics, you name it, to just mention a few. And we're so glad to have you with us tonight. And if you will, please hit that subscribe button if it's available there. I know on YouTube it's available. So, and you may be watching on W5KUB.com. If you are, there should be a subscribe button right over here somewhere. I think on the bottom right of the screen here. Hit that subscribe button. Hey, hit the like button. Hit that notify button. It helps us to get the word out about the show. Also, we're on WBCQ, world famous WBCQ on 7490 kilohertz. And we'd love to hear from you. Let us know where in the world you are. And send us an email to tom@w5kub.com, tom@w5kub.com. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us where you are and how you're hearing the show tonight. By the way, that station is up on the Canadian and the U.S. border there in Maine, and that's where the transmitter is tonight. I think we may be beaming mostly in toward Mexico. I'm not sure. I know that it can be heard in the UK. I have taken a SDR receiver on the internet and tuned in the broadcast from the UK, and I have heard it coming into the UK. Let's see. Hey, we're on just about every audio podcast. We'd love to hear from you too. We've got so many different podcasts going here. We'd love to hear from you and see, how you're hearing it, and are you doing it at work? Are you driving cross country? Just send us a note, say hi. But we're on every podcast carrier like iHeart Radio, iNet Radio, Google Play. All of them are carrying us, so we'd really love to hear from you there. Let's see, where else are we? I don't know, man. We seem like we're in a lot of places. Okay. I think that's all the announcements I have tonight. Hey, tonight, we got a few things to talk about. Field Day is coming up in about 17 days. We'll talk about Field Day. We'll talk about a Hamfest. Glenn went there last year. I went there last year. It's over in Middle Tennessee. Glenn, you may remember HamQuest. Middle Tennessee. There's a couple other Hamfests coming up. We'll talk about them. I want to share a little with you about our new Pico flights, our Pico balloon flights, W5KUB 120 and 121. Show you the little design and show you what we're doing with them. We hope to get a launch off in the next couple weeks with that. Hey, we got a little project tonight. Just want to show you something. It's probably my favorite piece of apparatus, accessory, whatever you want to call it, at my workbench, and that's a cable organizer. And I'm going to show you that. You can build it for nothing, and I guarantee you'll like it. It'll be the best thing you've done here. Messy and cluttered ham shacks. We're going to get into messy and cluttered ham shacks. If you hadn't done it, you got a few minutes. Go to W5KUB on Facebook and send us a picture and put your call down there, and we're going to look at your messy and cluttered ham shack. And then, hey, if we got time, I want to talk a little about just some ideas on building a functional workbench maybe you hadn't thought about. And it's what I use, what I built up. I think it works very well, and I think you'll like the design of it. Yeah, easy to do and cheap to make. So we got all those things to talk about tonight, plus more. Let's go around the room and let's see what's going on here. At the top right here, we've got top right. We got Brett. Hey, Brett, come on in here, man. How you doing?
Good evening, Tom. It's summer suddenly here in Laramie, Wyoming. Suddenly all dandelions have come out. Fortunately, mosquitoes are not out yet. And I'm doing all sorts of outdoor things, planting, mowing lawns, weeding, and dealing with antennas. I'm beefing up the antenna on top of my house, which is a Delta loop, and just getting that ready for the inevitable thunderstorms that are going to be coming in shortly. And otherwise just enjoying it. Today I also had to go out and do a repair. My work as a wireless internet provider, and one of our uninterruptible power supplies interrupted itself and quit and killed its batteries, and so it wasn't really that uninterruptible after all. So I had to go fix that. But in general, just enjoying the better weather and looking forward to Field Day in a couple of weeks.
All right, good, very good. I'm thinking we'll discuss Field Day in a little while. I'm thinking we ought to do something on the show for Field Day. But then again, I may want to go to Field Day just to look around. But I'm thinking about we could do some live streams with different field days that are calling in and bringing us their field day, and we could, schedule every half hour a different group around the country, and we just bring them in on a live webcast. Let's talk a little about that in a little while. Let's shoot it down here to Glenn. Glenn, come on in here and tell us, man, what are you doing?
Well, I'm just finishing up a review for this This is the Radio Builder, Radio Lab.
Yeah.
And basically, it's a receiver setup. Let's get it tilted so it's not glowing so bad. And this is basically a section by section breakout of the receiver, so you can design and build your own receiver parts without having to build an entire receiver. Just patch the pieces you want to build in and out. So you can design and tinker with your own receiver plans and designs.
Yeah.
And that's going into QST here real soon. I'm going to be finishing this up tomorrow and Thursday. And I'm thinking it will make, let's see, this is June. It probably will make either the July or August issue of QST.
Well, that's interesting. You know, that kind of reminds me of some of the breadboard type kits that we had back in the 60s and 70s.
Exactly.
They weren't quite as sophisticated, but, you know, they had like little modules you could play with, and that was cool, man, for somebody.
Yeah, it is really cool. And as I kind of hinted earlier, I've been talking to ARRL ever since Dayton, and we have come up with a plan for what appears to be 7 Arduino books. And they're going to be focused on a collection of projects by topic, such as satellite projects, test equipment projects, modes, Morse code, fox hunting, things of that nature. And so each book is going to have projects specific for that topic. And we've come up with 7 topics to this point. So you can tell I'm going to be fairly busy for a while.
Now, are you telling me you're obligating yourself to write 7 more books?
In addition to the one that I'm writing now on mesh networking, yes.
Oh, man. You're never going to get a rest, you know.
No, this is fun. This is what I do for fun.
Oh, man. All right.
So, yeah.
All right.
As you can see, Sasquatch joined us tonight.
Yeah, I see that. Okay, well, K5PUR, I got your Gmail, I got it, and I got your messy shack picture. We'll play that in a little while with all the others there. You need to get on Facebook. You don't have to get on personal Facebook. You don't even have to, you know, and hey, let me say this about Facebook. I've got a personal Facebook account, and people all the time are saying, you know, hey, I want to be your friend. Can I be your friend on Facebook? Well, I don't. I've got another Facebook group. It's called W5KUB. It's about ham radio. That's where I am all the time. I check it every 10 minutes. The personal, I don't want 14,000 people in my personal Facebook group. So if I haven't approved you as a personal friend in Facebook, it's because I'm kind of keeping that for just, you know, my family, and I'm hardly never on there. But join the ham radio Facebook group. There's nothing on there crazy going on. There's no bad language. There's no fighting. There's nothing like that. We've got a really good group. Last I checked, we had 14,400 people in the group. So join it. Just go to Facebook. You might have to set you up an account, but that's okay. Don't worry. Nobody's going to come kidnap you or anything like that. And, you know, hey, it's probably illegal, but use a bogus name if you want to. If you're in the witness protection, use a name they gave you, that the government gave you, man. Okay. All right. Let's do this, man. All right. Hey, let's talk a little about field day. I don't know what to do here, man. I mean, I kind of like getting out. I don't go operate, but I'm going to go visit the Memphis group. And it was pitiful last year. They had almost nothing going. They were kind of scattered out there in the park, not much going on. Mostly just sitting around trying to stay cool in the shade. But I may go out there. But, you know, we could have a show like Saturday for field day. And if we could get some volunteers, that are going out on field day to take a time slot and call into our show, we could put on a Roundtable field day show. We could stay on all day if we had enough people. In other words, we could give you like a half-hour time slot. Say 9 to 9:30 is Houston, Texas, and you call in, and you walk around with your camera. All it takes is your smartphone. You don't have to have any kind of special cameras or anything. Take your smartphone. They show me the different stations, the 20 meters, the 40 meters, the 10 meters. Show me the food. I want to see the food. Show me the tower mast that fell over. Whatever you got, just show it to me. And take a time slot, and then at the next time slot, we'll have someone else like Miami. And you don't have to leave. You can stay on there, and if Miami doesn't have much, or if they don't show up, Houston, you can continue and to be on the show there. So I'm thinking about that. I don't know if there's any interest or not. If there's any interest out there, guys, send me an email to tom@w5kub.com, tom@w5kub.com. See if you're interested. We probably need at least 8 or 10 different field day locations to put on the show, 8 to 10. And if you'd be willing to just take a time slot, we'll schedule you, walk around, shoot us some video back, do some interviews, whatever. We'd love to do it, and we'll put you on live, just like we're streaming tonight. So let me know if you want to do it. I kind of have a feeling we're not going to get any takers, but that's okay. That's okay. If we do get a bunch of takers, I guess I won't go to field day. I'll just sit right here and I'll watch field day on the show and be in an air-conditioned house. That might be pretty good anyway. So, hey, field day's coming up in 17 days. Glenn, are you planning on anything there in Conway?
Yeah, I was at the club meeting tonight, and we're getting set up for field day.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing it at the emergency management building here in Conway, and
Okay.
we're going to be operating 4 Alpha. We're going to have 4 stations set up plus the GOTA,
Yeah.
and looks to be fun. I'm breaking out my Go box, and so we're going to have some fun. I'll be there, so I might be able to get you some streaming, but I can't promise quality of coverage or anything from where we're at.
Yeah, yeah. So let me ask you a question. If I had a group of people come over, and you see my sunroom that's attached to the back of the house. If people came over and we set up a station in there, and they used my antennas that are out in the backyard there, and if I cut the power off to my house, I'd be on a generator. Would all that be legal?
Yes.
I mean, I'd be at my house.
Yeah. You'd be on emergency power.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could operate. I think the Delta class, the 1 Delta, 2 Delta, etc., would be the home operators class, but I'm not 100% certain.
Oh, okay. Home operator. Okay. All right.
Yeah, because you're not a club, you're not,
Oh, okay.
it just
That's
pretty much
right.
be a home
Back during the
station
pandemic,
operation.
they started that new group.
Although
right?
with emergency power, technically you could be an alpha, 1 or 2 or however many transmitters you want to have active
Yeah.
at a
Back
time.
during the pandemic, they started that home deal, I think. Used to, you didn't do the home, if I remember
No,
right.
they've had it as long as I've been
Oh, really?
doing field day. Yeah.
I remember when I was young, 16, 17 years old, out running around in the car, nighttime, going up movies, stuff like that. Field day, I'd drive up to Blytheville, Arkansas. Blytheville, I think, yeah. To the emergency center or whatever. That's where they always set up in here. And it was, I think it was at the jail, You got to walk past all the
Yeah.
prisoners to get in there. So I don't know. I don't know. All right. Well, I don't know.
But yeah, we're gonna have a pretty nice setup. We're gonna have beams and wire antennas.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun. This will be my first time with this outfit.
Okay. All right. Well, what about you, Brett? What are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. I may stay at home and work all those stations to let them get some points. But there are two local clubs, one in Laramie, Wyoming, and one in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And I know that the Cheyenne Club is planning a big event at a fire station, all kinds of antennas going up there. So it's definitely going to be fun. I may just hang out and let them contact me, but I may go and operate for them if they need it, especially digital modes, because it's some of the clubs need someone to sit there and work, say, FT8 or some other, or FT4 or some other mode like that.
Yeah.
And I can definitely send pictures.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll either
Yeah.
do something
By the
here.
way, they have changed the rules this year. They want to
Yeah.
encourage people to get on the air stations, and so they now allow you to do that without increasing your count when you turn in your logs. And they have a couple of other things that encourage you to have a go to station and try to bring the public in.
Okay. Well, and I guess you still have the media, extra points for media.
Oh yeah, there are extra points for media. There's extra points for bringing in local politicians if you can do that.
Yeah.
All sorts
Well,
of little extras.
I wonder, would they consider us media?
I don't know. I don't know if they consider webcasters media. They should.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. All right. Let us know. Hey, take pictures if you can. Glenn and Brett, take pictures of your field day, and if you got anything interesting showing, and we'll talk about it. Afterwards on the show. Mark P says we look like media from there, or actually he says from here, which is there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Guys, since we upgraded our equipment here, man, the stream looks solid. No flashing lights, no nothing, man. Man, it just looks good. I'm glad we did it. It was a job getting all that equipment into the small case of the desktop here, but we got it. All right. All right, that's field day. We got two possibilities there. We're going to do a live field day show, or you guys are going to get us some videos and some pictures, and you're going to talk about it when you come back. All right. All right. Hey, Hamfest coming up. Hey, Glenn, do you remember the Middle Tennessee Ham Quest we went to last year? You remember where that was? He's got to think. I see him thinking. His forehead's kind of going, where was that? Let me give you a hint. It was in the Made in Tennessee building. Lebanon, at the Lebanon Fairgrounds. Now, wait a minute. Why am I not hearing Glenn? Glenn? Did you mute yourself?
I muted myself.
I
don't think I went.
Wait. That was not our fault, guys. I just want everybody on the webcast to know that, as usual,
Yep.
that was Glenn's fault. Okay, go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah. I don't think I went to Lebanon.
Yeah, you did.
last
You
year.
drove up there. You must have got up at 4 a.m. You drove up there, and you got there about. You had a table.
I do not remember in Lebanon.
You don't.
No. Jackson, yes. Lebanon,
Jackson.
no.
What, Jackson? No.
Yeah.
That wasn't Jackson. That was Trent. What was it, Trenton?
No, there was one in Jackson.
We didn't go to that. I didn't go to that.
It's a 6 hour from here. Out seriously
All right.
that I went.
There's the building. There's the building right there. I don't know if you remember or not.
No, I did not go to that one.
You didn't. Okay. Well, this is a Greater
No,
Nashville.
because I was packing up the house and getting ready to
Tennessee.
move at that point.
All right. Well, this is coming up July 19th. We're going again. They've asked us to come over, and we're going to go and enjoy these. It's not a large, real large Hamfest, but it's not real small either. It's a decent Hamfest. I bought a full legal limit amplifier there. I forget the. It was a big name brand. I forget the name of it. Didn't have the tubes in it. I bought it for $30. Yeah,
Nice.
$30. And I thought, I'm always building amps and stuff, and I thought, hey, man, I can stick me a 4-400 in there or something, and, just put a different tube socket, and I've got the power supply and everything in here. So I thought, well, I'm going to give him $30 for that case. It had the meters, knobs, everything, man. Tank circuit. Transformer, everything's in there, man. Anyway, I gave $30 for it. Well, I decided not to build. And I decided, well, I'm just going to part it out. So I pulled the transformer out, and the tank circuit came out in one piece. Tube sockets, all the different pieces, and I put them on eBay. Now I paid $30 for this, and I think I sold about $350 worth of pieces. Even threw a couple away that I didn't think anybody would want, and then he came back and says, "Hey, do you have that little AC box on the back where the power cord comes in?" I said, "No, man, I threw it away." So anyway, maybe I'll find another good deal like that up here. I decided I didn't need to try to build another amplifier. I've got a couple really nice ones here, so I just decided to piece it out.
Oh.
All right,
Some of
so we
those
got the
tubes are
Hamfest
black.
coming up, Middle Tennessee, Lebanon there in July the 19th. Here's one you might want to go to, Glenn. You're a lot closer than I am. It's the Mena, Arkansas. Mena, Arkansas.
When is that one?
Oh, I don't remember. It's coming up in probably the next few weeks. But Mena is, if you're not familiar with that, Mena is just about on the Oklahoma-Arkansas state line, and it's south. If you draw a line from Little Rock east and west, it's going to be south, and it's going to be almost over on the west border. But it's Mena. I think it might be a pretty good Hamfest. I would go, but it'd be a long ways for us to go over there. Actually, it's about 300 miles probably across Arkansas, and we got all the Memphis traffic and all that. So,
Well, there's one showing for September 8th, but I'm not seeing one.
Okay. I just saw an advertisement pop up yesterday about the Mena, and I was hoping that Mena would be a little closer, and I might go.
Here's another
but,
one
I'm not.
here. Hang on.
Yeah.
No, this is the Louisiana Delta Hamfest on May, Knoxville, Greater Nashville. No, the Mena I'm showing in September.
Is it? July, August, September.
Yeah.
3 months away, yeah. A little over 3 months away.
That-
Well, Ronnie
yeah.
says, KF4WZR, Ronnie says he will be at the Hamquest in Middle Tennessee. Ronnie, hook up with us there. Look for us. I'll have my W5KB shirt on. I'll probably have my Air Force cap on, so you can't miss me. I'm not going to have a table or anything like that. Just walking around looking, hoping to buy another $30 legal limit amplifier. That's what I'm hoping for, but I may not get it. All right, and then we got Huntsville's coming fast and furious, man.
Yep.
I've
And-
already booked Huntsville.
and-
I also booked something interesting. I decided that I'd go ahead and splurge a little.
Yeah.
I booked a cabin on Montesano for the Thursday night before the Hamfest, so I can get up on Friday morning and stroll over to the big POTA cookout that they have there every year.
Well, I saw your note, and that's great.
Yes, and I have extra beds if folks are interested. It's a big cabin.
It's a big cabin, and all Brett wants is $5 per person per night, and he will cook and everything for you and give you a place to stay.
There you go.
Stack them like cordwood.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're getting to go again. I'm glad you like Huntsville enough to go back. You know, that's a long ways for you to travel. I think last time you kind of hooked up some business through Atlanta back to the Huntsville, but maybe this year you're just coming without business. I don't know.
Oh, this year I'm doing some business in Nashville.
Yeah.
Coming
I
into
heard
Nashville.
that maybe it was an old girlfriend.
Oh yeah, going to be meeting up with. That's one of the stops I'll be making along the way. I'll be meeting up with a woman I dated in college who was a physics major, brilliant person, who directed the Nashville Planetarium for many, many years. And I haven't seen her in quite a long time, so that's definitely one stop I'm going to make along the way. I also may have time to tour NASA this time.
All right, take some money with you. It's a lot to see there, but it's expensive. A lot of things in there are pay per view, you know. Mm-hmm. But I think everybody should do it at least once, you know. If you hadn't been here before, go do it, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I don't have time to do the full astronaut training.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, and you know, also, if you want to see a good, nice ham radio store, Gigaparts is there. Last year, they just opened a new store, a massive, big Gigapart store, really much bigger than what they used to have. So they're there in Huntsville. Of course, they will be at the Huntsville Hamfest, but, you know, go by and see their store. They got everything in there, like computers, telescopes, metal detectors. I mean, they carry a lot of different things.
Yeah, Gigaparts is trying to become the next Fry's Electronics.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so they're
I miss fries.
Yeah. And I understand they're also a sponsor of the big DX banquet, which is going to happen on Saturday night at the Signal Museum, which I haven't seen. That's another thing I would like to see while I'm there.
Yeah, now I haven't seen that. What's at the Signal Museum?
It's a museum about radio technology, and I don't know what all is in there, in fact. So that's why I want to go and explore.
Now,
if they have a party and they rent a museum for it, you get into all the exhibits as part of going to the party.
Now, maybe we're talking about the same thing, and Glenn, maybe you can help here. They opened it for a special tour of the Memphis Gang last year, I think the first time they opened, and I thought it was like a vintage radio museum where they had everything radio, TV, all the way back to the beginning. Now, is this Signal Museum the same thing we're talking about, or you think it's different?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with it at all.
Well, what they say is that they're a communications museum, and they talk about tech before tech, and then recorded sound, the telephone, the telegraph, radio, TV, amateur radio, and going forward to the internet. So apparently it's all of the above. And if you go to signals-museum.org, they give a list of their exhibits.
Okay. Now, you know, that may be what I'm thinking of, and they may have had a name of Signal Museum last year, but I don't remember exactly, but I know it was going back on all that technology from the beginning to present, radio, TV, all that. So it sounds like the same thing, actually. And they opened it last year, especially there was a group of Memphis people, about 10 people, I think, that got to have a private tour of it about right before it opened, really, for business. But okay, very good. Tell us about it. We may
Yeah,
want to
they've
go
got
sometime.
like 2,000 exhibits
Yeah.
all
Yep,
the way
and
from the beginning.
They are.
They
They
even
are to
have this
tell.
exhibit called the Parts Store.
Really.
That
know,
could be interesting.
We probably have some stuff in our attic that we could donate and have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably could.
I don't know if they have a hem shack at the exhibit at the museum.
Yes,
That's one
they
thing
do.
I'm interested in seeing.
Yes, they
yeah,
do.
they do.
A fully functional Hamfest or Ham Club, Ham Shack.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. Cool. Okay, guys. Well. Okay. Let's take a quick break. And
be
we'll be right
interesting
back.
to do.
And we're going to talk. We got a lot of things to talk about tonight. The new flights coming up, cable organizer, messy, cluttered shack pictures, ideas on building functional workspace. And you mentioned, just before we go, you mentioned the loop antenna earlier. I forget what we were talking about exactly.
Yeah.
But I've got a delta loop up too, standing vertically, and I think that delta loop. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the delta loop has lobes broadside to it. Doesn't it?
It's not quite omnidirectional, but it's nearly omnidirectional. If it's depending on where you put the feed point.
Yeah.
It's that the pattern shifts depending on whether you're feeding it in the middle of the long leg or whether you're feeding it off to one side, which is what I do.
Yeah, I've got it fed at the bottom in the middle, so it's horizontal. But I felt like the lobes were broadside to it, not off the ends. Mm-hmm. Now, here's where I'm going with that. I watched a neat video last night about a FM radio engineer. And there were some pirates that were transmitting on their frequency. And he was out west somewhere, probably out near you. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so he talked about and he showed, how they do the direction finding and how he's going to find that pirate. And all he needed was a spectrum analyzer and a little loop antenna. The loop antenna was about 6 inches. That's as big as the loop was. And, he talked about things like Yagis and stuff like that and how, they're have a very wide beam width and they're not the best for direction finding. And we were talked about this last week on our show about direction finding for, the fox hunt down in Houston coming up soon. Anyway, so he had a spectrum analyzer and he had a little 6-inch loop. And I know in experimenting in building a magnetic loop here, I built some, like 3.5 foot magnetic loops. And I know that the magnetic loop, the signal direction is off the very edges of the loop to the front and to the back off the plane of the loop, not off the sides. And I just learned that when I started working with, magnetic loops. Now, I don't know if magnetic loops are different than like just a plain old loop like our delta loop, because I feel like on our delta loop, the lobes are perpendicular to it. Perpendicular.
Well, no, yes, they have to be because, the way electric and magnetic fields are related, the magnetic field is perpendicular to the electric field. And so if you're starting by generating a magnetic field with a loop, then your electric field is going to be perpendicular to the current in the loop. And that's the direction you're going to expect it to come out. And of course, the loop is round, so being perpendicular to it is sort of, is really more of a tangent off the side of the loop.
Yeah. Well, so he has this little 6-inch loop, and he demonstrated and showed it. And he showed that the strongest signal the strongest signal is going to be off the edge of that loop, not the sides, but the edge. It's going to be pretty directional. It's going to have a certain amount of bandwidth. I mean, bandwidth, broadbanded, but that's on the edge of the loop going out, and that's maximum signal you're going to get. But he says we're not going to use that to find it. We're going to use broadside to the loop. He said because broadside to this loop is a null. He says the null is very small, and he said that was what they used to find the position of the pirate station. He also said that so he was going to use a null. I'm trying to think what else he was doing here. So he would use the null, and he would plot out a direction on the map, and he'd draw a line. And then, of course, he'd just go somewhere else, off to the distance, somewhere off to the side, and he would use the null again, and he would see the direction it's coming from, and he would plot another line. So now you got two lines crossing, and then he would go to another place, just random out there, get his third line, and of course it would all cross pretty close to the same spot. Now he said on a spectrum analyzer, you want to put it to zero. Zero spread, or I'm trying to think of the terminology. You don't want to look. I mean, if you're looking for a 7 meg station, you don't want to set it to look for 6.5 to 7.5 because you've got just so much in there. So he said you put it on a zero spread, and all you see on a zero spread is a straight line on the frequency, and you can watch the line, of course, get taller or shorter. So he used the null. He used the null to pinpoint where it was. So to me, that little loop, I'm just wondering if that loop is exhibiting directivity opposite of what our delta loop is. Now, our delta loop is not a magnetic loop. I mean, I guess it's not a magnetic loop. What do you think?
I don't know. It sounds more like a sky loop. The thing is, a magnetic loop has really narrow bandwidth, and so you were talking about having a fairly wide bandwidth, and that doesn't sound right for a mag loop.
Yeah. Well, and he said we use the null instead of the direction of the maximum signal. I thought, well, you could use the edge for maximum signal, and you could turn it, and you could watch the signal fade. And I probably would have looked for maximum signal, but it was kind of interesting. I learned that he actually used the null for the direction instead of the other part.
Well, do you want to know what Google AI says about it?
What did it say?
A delta loop antenna is a type of magnetic loop antenna.
Okay.
Operates on the principle of magnetic loops, where the loop's magnetic field interacts with the radio wave, blah, blah. So technically, yeah, I guess it is a magnetic loop.
Ask it which way are the lobes on a delta loop. Let's just see what they say about this. Where are the lobes on a delta loop? Say delta loop instead of magnetic loop.
Broadside to the antenna.
Yeah, see, that's broadside they're saying, but this antenna he had, the lobes were in the plane of the loop. So that's what threw me off. To me, they were like opposite. I don't know. I just can't understand it. And the nulls were broadside, and he demonstrates that right here on YouTube. If you guys want to look it up, just look up hunting pirate station, FM pirate station.
It makes sense that it would be stronger broadside than off the ends.
Well, but I know the magnetic loop.
know.
The magnetic loop I built here, and we played with it here in the shack. It was off the edges. It definitely was off the edges.
Huh. Because right here it says if the antenna is oriented with the base running north-south, the loads will be strongest to the east and west.
That's not what he showed with the spectrum analyzer and with the.
Well,
with the
if
loop
you're
he had.
null, but if you're nulling, that's least signal,
That's making
not
the signal
strongest
less.
signal.
Yeah, that's cutting the signal out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the nulls would be off to the sides, not the broadside.
Yeah, AE5AU says think it's more based on the size, and it may be because this was a little 6-inch square loop that he was using.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, well, I don't think it makes much difference, but the loop he had was more of a square loop instead of a round loop. Now, my understanding is square, round, it didn't make a lot of difference. I mean, like your delta, your 40 meter delta loop, you can put it up in any configuration. You just get a full wavelength. Full wavelength of wire out there. You can make it an octagon or a triangle or a square, or just as long as you spread it out. So I don't know. Oh well. I don't know. Maybe I'll take a course in antennas sometime here. Let's see. Does frequency make a difference? I don't know. Of course, he was looking for like 91 megahertz FM band. We're playing, in the HF band. Don't know.
Well, Tom, your job now is to build one and play with it.
Well, I've got one in the garage. I've got a 3-foot magnetic loop we built for the show. I need to pull it out and bring it in here and play with it. And see. I don't know. When I look at Whisper with my delta loop out here, my delta loop is positioned north-south, and I see mostly everything to the east and mostly everything to the west. So to me, that's broadside.
Well,
So,
I have a delta loop which faces east and west. Or at least that's where the slopes are. And sometimes I have trouble getting a good signal from Colorado to the south. So I'm thinking that the place where I have the way I have it arranged with my feed point off center, I'm coming more off I'm more off the ends than off the sides. But it's not as if I don't get Colorado. It's just fainter than I think it should be.
yeah.
Now, I do have a mag loop.
Hal mentions that a shielded loop has one null. Now, the guy didn't explain much about, when he looked for that null, he didn't say much about it on both sides. What hit me was it looked like he was always just aiming one side of the loop for the null. But once you draw that line, 15 miles long, and then you draw another line, you're actually looking at a line that actually went behind you and in front of you. So I don't know. Okay, we'll think more about it later. Maybe we can get a good magnetic loop guy on here and that can really talk about it here.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Brett, I looked, and that signal museum is just a hop, skip, and a jump from the hotel. I may
Yes,
just
it is.
leave a little early and try to hit it on Friday.
Yep, it's supposed to be a really nice place. They've gotten some. If you take a look, they have some big donors. Gigaparts is a big participant in that, and it looks exciting. I definitely, I
I'm
bought a
thinking-
ticket to the DX banquet.
I think it's like a 5.5 hour drive for me from here, maybe a little longer. But I'm going to try to shoot to get there at like noon or 1 o'clock on Friday and just go there on the way in. So we might want to coordinate something.
Ah, yes.
If you're,
All right.
you going to do it Friday or Thursday?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to be at the banquet Saturday night, but I don't have plans for the other nights.
Yeah, because I think it's the hours on Friday are 9 to 4. Yeah, 9 to 4. And
You'll
same
miss
for Thursday.
on Friday's
Yes.
setup
So
day.
after
But if
the
I
photo
left
cookout-
here early,
yeah.
I could get there at like 1 o'clock. And that'd give us 3 hours to tour it, or give me 3 hours if you wanted to go or not.
Yep.
Okay,
Well-
guys. All right, let's move on. Here. Just one last comment in the chat room. AE5AU says the reason you use a null is that the null is sharper than the peak, and that's what the engineer described in the video, that the null was sharper.
Well, that's for direction finding, though,
Yeah, right,
not for communicating.
right. Okay, we'll be right back, guys. Don't go away. The fun stuff's coming up next. ICOM's IC7760 is a pinnacle of base station excellence for amateur radio enthusiasts. Designed to deliver unmatched performance, the IC7760 features state-of-the-art technology, exceptional RF clarity, and an intuitive interface, all housed in a sleek and durable design. This base station features a separate remote control head and RF deck, providing enhanced flexibility for installation. Place the RF deck closer to the antenna feed point, freeing up space on your desk. You can also connect the control head to the RF deck through your home network, enabling remote operation from anywhere in your home without needing a PC. Pair the IC7760 with a powerful IC-PW2 linear amplifier and take your contesting experience to the next level with ICOM's industry-first linear amplifier. Together, they redefine what's possible in amateur radio. For more information about ICOM's amateur radios, please visit icomamerica.com/amateur. Okay, guys, we are back. I want to talk to you a little about some Pico balloons coming up. You know, the Pico balloon is where we try to fly a little party balloon around the world. And people are having quite a success with that now, at least making it around the world a couple times. Our best flight went around the world for 450 days, and it made about 25 trips around the world. And guys, that's the transmitter right there. That's it. That's the whole thing right there. That's it. 10 milliwatts. It's not uncommon for it to transmit all the way to Australia from Europe or here or wherever. So it's amazing how Whisper works. Anyway, I want to talk a little about it. We've got 2 flights coming up, and I built up 2 different systems that we're going to fly. And here's a picture of, this is going to be W5KUB 120. And that's the entire, that's the system right there. You can see the transmitter on there. You can see the solar panels. The solar panels will break if you look at them with cross-eyed. Let me tell you, they're thin, they're thinner than paper. They're very brittle. Don't sneeze. Don't cough. I saw Glenn fix a cough. Don't cough, it'll break.
I'm muted.
All right,
Okay.
so that's it. And guess what? I was being so careful. And I broke the second one from the end off. And I go, oh man, because they're sandwiched, all of them are sandwiched between 2 circuit boards there. And I thought, well, this is not going to come out very easy. It's going to take me another 3 hours just to build a whole new panel. Anyway, I took my soldering, I got the soldering station that has the heat, the air heat, for like surface mount soldering and removal. I put that air heat on there, on those solder spots on the solar panels, and that sucker just slid right out. It fell right out, man, a broken one with a gap there. And I just slid a new one in and resoldered it. That was the easiest that I've ever replaced one. You might see the little blue thing there. We're going to run a super capacitor on this one. That's a 20 farad at 4 volts. Now, back when I was getting into ham, a 1 farad would be as big as your car. That is a 20 farad, 4 volt. And the reason is this is solar power only, and I'm afraid those little solar panels are going to be just floating all around up there. They tilting up, down, sideways. Hopefully they stay kind of stationary while it's flying, but I honestly think that thing's going to wiggle around up there. And if it wiggles around where it loses the sun for just a half a second, the Arduino processor basically goes dead and it has to reset. So with the super cap on there, we can go dark. Even if that thing's transmitting, we can go dark for about 60 seconds. So if that thing, let's say, it's not going to go behind a cloud because we're going to be above the clouds. But let's say the balloon above it blocked the sun from hitting the cells for half a minute or something like that. The supercapacitor will be enough that it will continue to run the tracker until we get sunlight again. So that adds a couple grams weight to the whole thing. I really didn't want to do it, but weight is everything. Let's see. I should have.
Tom, are you still having to assemble those completely by hand, or are you getting them pre-stuffed?
Right now, I'm actually able. We had a PCB board company would make the circuit boards, and we would put the little bitty parts on with a microscope. But they now are putting the parts on. So this actually comes. We can get a tracker now. They're missing a few parts they don't have, but they'll put all the parts on, with exception of maybe 3 parts, 4 parts. So it's put on professionally with their soldering wave machines and whatever they have. When I first started building these things, probably I'd build 5, and I may have 2 that would work, and then you'd go into really troubleshooting. And it's hard to troubleshoot something that small. The thing didn't have hardly many parts on it at all. But now I can get them to put the parts on, and I don't know what the tariffs are. I just bought 10 of them right before the tariffs went on. They were running about, listen to this, they're running about $14 each, completely built.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I had hundreds of dollars invested in just what it took to try to build one, But I would throw them against the wall. I'd get so disgusted with them, when it wouldn't work, or you drop a resistor and you can't find it, you get another one, and so forth. I should have more. I want to show you more pictures here. Let's see. This is 20. Let me load another picture here. 1 second. For some reason, my pictures didn't load. And I'm going to load them right now. Show. Oh, I see. I see what the deal is. I think I see what the deal is. Okay, yeah, I got him. All right, so let's talk a little about this build right here. And so here we go. So there we go. That's the solar panels. They're sandwiched between two little bitty pieces of a circuit board. And again, it did pretty good. It adds a little weight though. You can see the 6 cells in the two little circuit boards there. It weighs 8 grams. That's, you know, some of our earlier flights, the entire flight only weighed 7.8 grams for everything. The tracker, the antenna, everything, man. So this is getting a little bit heavy. But that's 8 grams. You can see, but I wanted to try it and see how it worked, you know. There it is again. I'm holding it up. You can see it there. The little straight looks like a little 2-inch antenna. That's a piece of guitar wire. That is actually the GPS antenna. Some people actually twist 2 pieces of wire together and make a dipole and stick it up, but I found that the vertical there works just, it picks up, you know, all the GPS satellites that we need to pick up. And then the blue wire hanging down and another one going up is where we put the 20-meter dipole on. So there's another kind of angle shot of it. There we are testing it. I'm testing it in the shack there. I can get the GPS signal through the window, and we've got a lab power supply powering it right now, and I've got a receiver on there, and I've got Whisper running on that little laptop right there. And I did put me a piece of wire out the window, and it's about a half wave on 20 meters. When I connect it, other people do pick it up. Not a lot of people pick it up when it's on the ground there. And of course, the antenna I had on it is a mismatched antenna, because it'd be difficult to run a dipole there with the bottom half of the dipole hanging down. So anyway, there I am testing it with a lab supply. There it is again, kind of trying to balance it there, making sure it's balanced. I still think it's going to float around a little bit and tilt and sway and different things. There it is with the tracker and a super cap and everything on it. It weighs 12.38 grams. 12.38. Now, that does not count the 20-meter dipole, a full 20-meter dipole that we have to put on here. The 20-meter dipole is 34 feet long. And we use number 36 wire, and the antenna weighs about 1.5 grams, I think. So it's not much more, but that's going to bring it up in the 13-gram area. I was hoping to keep it lower. I was hoping to shoot for 50,000 feet with this one, but we're getting up around 13 and a half grams. So I would imagine we're going to fly at maybe about 45,000 feet. There's a little bit better shot of it. All the wires, the solar cell wires aren't connected, but you can see it in front of the wall there a little bit better. So that is flight 120. We're going to launch, and we're going to launch 2 flights. We're going to launch 2 flights at the same time, and they're going to be following each other to some point, and then they're going to separate. One's going to fly at about 45,000, and one's going to fly at about 41,000. We're going to launch them both here at the same time. They're going to eventually spread apart. Don't know how far. Probably in days they're going to be a good distance apart. So that's flight 120. We built up another one, flight 121, and oh, by the way, the 120 is going to be a single band 20-meter whisper only. All right, now this one, let me see if I can. This one is going to be a dual band. We're going to run 20 meters and 10 meters on the same flight. You can see the cells have some little broken edges. That doesn't hurt the cells. Even keeping all these cells like in a metal box to protect them, man, they're so easily broken. They break. A lot of them break in half. I just throw them away. So you can see the solar platform here on a piece of styrofoam. Now this piece of styrofoam here is a food carry-out. You know the little food carry-out thing you get at the restaurant? It's about an 1/8 inch thick there. I cut a little square out, and that's what we're flying there. So the 8 cells and the food carry-out platform, that's 9.21 grams. So this is going to be a little heavier. Let's see what we got here. They're the components we're going to put on here. Now, if you notice, you see the tracker on the scales to the left. Now, this goes back to, this is going to go in addition to the 9.21. Right here, we've got 5.19 grams that are going to be added. Now, look at this, though. We're using a different antenna here. I'm using an in-fed half-wave antenna for 20 meters, which will give us 20 meters and 10 meters. Also, you can see the tracker on the scales. The tracker's on the left. The tracker is only 10 milliwatts. And guys, it does a really good job around the world. But there's some places in the world where even that you just can't get out. And that's mostly in the stands, like Takistan and I don't know, all the stands. You know what I'm talking about, down in southeast Russia. Yeah, Uzbekistan and all those. It's really hard to get signals out of there. It's real hard to get signals out. In fact, Bill Brown, a lot of times, he has to tune into a software-defined radio up in Russia just to get reports when trackers go into that area. So what you see there, that to the right of the tracker, you can't tell much about it, but that is a 100 milliwatt amplifier I built. So the 10 milliwatt tracker powers the 100 milliwatt PA, and you can see the 49-to-1 balun, or actually it's an unbalanced to unbalanced. So we've got a toroid there, 49-to-1. We got the 100 milliwatt PA, and we got the tracker. Now, it'll run 100 milliwatts when the sun voltage is around 4 volts. Those 8 cells will put out in the bright sunlight about 0.6 of a volt per cell. So about 4.8 volts in the high sun. They'll put out 4.8 volts. This tracker and that amp together draw about 175 milliamps. That seems like a lot, 175 milliamps. But the solar cells hang in there really well in the sun at about 3.9 to 4 volts, even at 175 milliamps. So at 4 volts, we've got about 100 milliwatts, maybe 120 milliwatts. If our voltage gets down to around 3.5 volts, we're getting down to about 40 milliwatts, which is still 4 times more than what the barefoot tracker runs. Okay, so that's what we got there. All that's going on all that's going to be glued there on that platform. So here we go. We're gonna put it on the platform. There we got the tracker mounted. I just glued it down with some adhesive. And then there's testing the 49-to-1 auto transformer to match the half-wave in-fed antenna. And there's the PA, the power amp, and we just glued it on the bottom side of the styrofoam. Now you see I cut a lot of holes out in the styrofoam just to make it lighter. That saves a lot of weight by cutting that out. The more weight we can reduce, the higher we'll fly. This one's going to come in kind of heavy. This one's going to come in at about 16 grams, so it's going to be probably going to fly around 41,000. It's going to be its top altitude. Looking at the in-fed antenna that we put on here, and the in-fed antenna is made from number 36 American gauge wire, which is about the size of the wire, the hair on your head is about that size of that wire. Very difficult to work with when I'm building it. Half the time I can't even find the wire or see the wire, you know. But here's an SWR measurement on 10 meters. You can see we got a really good match there. Looks like 1.0, 50 ohms. We got this, just about the same match on 20 meters. So the antenna should function pretty good there. So that is, that's kind of update on the flights that we'll be flying, and hopefully I can get those launched in the next couple of weeks. I'm not sure we have enough hydrogen right now to fill 2 balloons, so we've got another tank of hydrogen to be picked up. And once I pre-stretch the balloons, make sure there are no leaks, evacuate the balloons, and then put the proper amount of hydrogen gas in, we'll then go to launch. And I think we'll probably launch within the next 2 weeks, hopefully. And we have very little lift. We put very little lift in these balloons. For example, we're going to run about 5 grams of free lift. And a nickel is about 5 grams of weight. So once we gas this thing up, if we hung a nickel on it, it would just about float stationary. It wouldn't go up, you know. In fact, it might go down to the ground. Well, at 5 grams, it should be, what do you call it? Buoyancy or whatever, where you could probably put it at 2 foot or 3 foot, and it'd probably just kind of set there, you know. So we're going to use 5 grams of free lift. People are running 6, 7, 8 grams of free lift in these balloons, but we really don't know where the top limit is, and there's a big difference in pressure, balloon pressure, super pressure, when you get at altitude. And that balloon is completely, that gas completely expands. That balloon gets tight. It can't expand anymore, and that's where it stops going up. So we don't want to pop it. So we're going to go with lower. Now the thing is, if you got any leakage, the balloon will eventually come down. You know, if you put 8 grams of lift in versus 5 grams, and you get 4 grams of leakage, you know, balloon's gonna come down. If you're only running 5 grams and you leak 4 grams, you're in bad shape. But guess what? You know, in high school they teach us about hydrogen and helium, and how hydrogen atom is the smallest. It's smaller than helium. But guess what?
No, you got H2 there, though.
Yeah, but guess what? We're better off running hydrogen because it clumps together in twos. So the molecules clump together in twos, which makes it twice as big, you know, so it doesn't seep through the pores of the balloon as easily as helium would. And guess what? Hey, helium is a non-renewable substance. It is a product of decay and radiation. And once you get that sucked out of the ground or wherever, and you let it into the atmosphere, it goes away. But the thing about hydrogen is it's renewable, and you can make hydrogen all the time. And guess what? Hydrogen is about half the price of helium. Helium is used in a lot of medical devices. What were you going to say, Brett? You going to say
I was
something?
going to say that helium is also, most of it's produced in Russia, which isn't a great trading partner right now, so it's hard to get.
Yeah, and look at the Hindenburg while we're talking about hydrogen gas. Look at the Hindenburg, man. That took a lot of hydrogen, man. There was a lot of hydrogen up there to lift that thing. And they probably didn't have helium, or enough to helium to even fill it, probably. Wow.
The humanity.
Well, anyway, that's what we're going to do on the balloon flights coming up here. All right. Brett and Glenn, you guys got anything you want to say, add? Get a cup of coffee?
No, I think it's cool.
Go to the bathroom, get a cup of coffee, whatever. Everybody okay? All right.
I'm looking forward to some popcorn here in a few.
You know what? I'm going to have it tonight, I think, myself. Yeah, okay. Hey, moving on. Moving on. Let's do messy, cluttered shacks real quick. Let's see who sent some in. Messy, cluttered shacks. This one is from, let's see, he sent an email. Yeah, it's from PUR, right? Yeah, PUR. Let's see what he sent here. Let me see what he sent. I've got it. I had to go into Gmail to get it, but let's see where, there it is. Here we go. Messy shack. I would say, yeah, it's kind of messy. Man, you need to clean up a little bit. Clean it up a little bit.
There's lunch.
Is lunch there? Yeah. All right. I think that's an MFJ product there to the left. I can't tell. It's got clutter up against it. I see a mouse. I see a couple mouses. Is one of those mouses upside? Is that a meese? You see that second meese? Is it upside down?
It's upside down.
Oh man. That shows it's not being used very much. What else you got there? Let's see.
Oh yeah. Well, when they die, they float upside down.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. What else do you got there, man? Under the plate. I can't tell what's under the plate. I thought it was a cat under the plate. I thought I could see some fur and some eyes, but I don't think so. You see what I'm talking about?
No, I don't think so.
You see what I'm talking about there? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. Let me do something here. Let me do something.
So what's that device to the right in the black case? Is that an antenna tuner?
Let's see. To the right?
Right.
Let's see. Let me go back. Yeah, I think it's an MFJ. I think it's it's an antenna tuner. That's an SWR meter in the middle there. Yeah. Well, I think I see a meter. See that black? Well, I don't know if that's a meter or not. To the left.
No,
of the
that's
mouse.
a clock.
Oh, is that a clock?
Oh, that.
No. Next to the mouse that's turned upside down. Yeah.
That's the meter on an MFJ tuner.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Hey, I see some 9-volt batteries there. They're probably dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're dead. Let's see what else we can find here. Oh man, let's see what else we can find. Well, the plate's clean, man. I think the plate was cleaned with cold water. What do you think?
Or a cat.
Well, I probably don't have time to do this, but I'm gonna tell the story.
Cat to do a better job.
I'm gonna tell the story. A friend went over to his dad's house and, ate lunch with him, and he said, "Dad, you're not getting the plates very clean." He said, "Yeah, well, that's as clean as cold water will get them." Well, when he started to leave, go out the door, and the dog started barking at him, and his dad yelled at the dog and said, "Shut up, cold water." All right. Nobody got it.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Okay. So cold water
Oh, yeah.
was a dog, okay? Cold water was a dog. Okay, well there it is. There he is, KD5 PUR. It's another plate. Okay. Hey, is it 2 plates? Has he got a plate on top of plate?
Yep.
2 plates. Look at that. We're gonna have. I tell you, we haven't looked at the others yet, so he may not be in the top 5 yet. All right.
Oh, okay. I found mine.
All right. Let me see. Let's see what we got. Let me go to Facebook here and let's see what we got here. What do we got? My Messy Shack. Here's Ronnie. Ronnie sent one in. Let's look at Ronnie here. Let's see if we can check Ronnie out. All right. I think I can work it. Yeah. All right. Does that help when I blow it up like that? You're seeing me make it larger, right?
Yeah, it gets a little blurry once you
Yeah,
go much beyond
yeah.
where you're at.
All right, I see a handy talkie, and I don't know. To the right there, you got a mess. He got a bunch of wires tangled up. I don't know what he's got there. What is that? Looks like an earphone, headphone. What is that? A foot switch up on the top? You see that foot? You see the foot switch?
Yeah. Well, if you're working with your feet up on the table, then
Well, I guess
that's
yeah,
him.
I guess so. He's probably leaning back in the chair and got his feet up on top here. I didn't think about that. That's a TS 2000. I've got one of those. Nice radio. You got him some stickers. I don't know what. I can't tell what's underneath there.
Well, one says ICOM, the other says ham.
Oh, I thought it said AM. You're right. It says ham. Yeah, yeah. What's that green? What's that green light bulb? I don't know.
It's a LED bulb.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's got a white at the very bottom.
Let's look up on top shelf and see what he's got. Let's see. Well, the stuff's not stacked very neat. It kind of looks like it's piled up. So far, I don't know, man. So far, Ronnie may be ahead. Ronnie, what do y'all think? Who's ahead? On a scale of 1 to 10. I'll give Andy about
I
an
think
8.
Andy's ahead.
I'll give Andy about 8. We'll give Ronnie a 9. We'll give Ronnie a 9. Okay. All right, cool. Hey, I see something in a bottle or is that a can? Can't tell what that is.
Darn, I don't have a current picture of the
Can't tell
shack,
what
but
that
the one
is.
I've got.
What is that? A can of Budweiser? No, I don't know what that is. Well, okay. Well, all right,
like the
Ronnie.
alligator.
Ronnie, you get a 9, Ronnie. Ronnie gets a 9. Okay. Ronnie gets a 9. Let's see what else we got here. What is this? Oh, I know what that is. That's where I was stationed overseas. One of my friends posted that. What have I got here? What is this?
It's
What
Facebook.
What is going on here? Maybe I'm.
It throws all sorts of nonsense into your feed.
Yep.
Well, I'm just wondering. Yeah, there we are. There's our feed. Okay, all right, let's see. We got. Well, I'm looking for some more pictures. I don't see it. Here we go. 20 comments. Okay. All right, here's my workbench. Here's mine. Now, you guys don't hold back. We've got a 8 and we got a 9 so far. I'm not going to rate myself. So, Glenn, you guys gonna have to rate me, okay? Is Glenn still there?
Yeah, I just shared my screen.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'll have to look at it here in a minute. All right, so you
It's
guys
not
better
the
rate me
current
here.
shack,
What was that?
but it's close. It's not my current shack because
okay.
I've added some shelves, but it's close.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, somebody rate me. Somebody put, give me a number.
Maybe 7.
I'm a 7, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm a 7. Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah. The desk is still a little bit messy, but not horribly. So
I'll
it's
take
got
that.
white space.
I'll take that. All right,
You can see the desk.
let's see who we got. Okay.
Yes.
All right, here's Renee Barbu, VE2UG. I don't know. That's
Not
too
enough
bad.
spaghetti.
Huh?
Not enough wire. Not enough spaghetti on the wires.
Yeah, I think that was all right.
I'd give that about a 5.
Okay. All right.
Pan down a little. I want to see. I see a bird watt meter.
Oh, I hadn't found
Yeah.
it yet. Where is it?
That's a bird with a dummy load on it.
Where is it? Where?
Bottom left,
It's
to the left of the
To the left of the
microscope.
microscope.
I see the dummy load. I don't see the watt meter.
There's a meter on the front of it, and I'm pretty sure that's
Is
a
it?
bird dummy load.
Let's just take a look at that. Oh yeah, I see. Oh yeah. I see it. I see it. Yeah. Okay. There it is. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. He's got an air heat gun right there. That's cool. That's what I fix my things with. Got him a flashlight. I got a flashlight
That's
like
a
that.
little bit.
That
That's a
sucker-
little bit clutter. He's moving up to a 6 there.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's moving up. He's moving on up. Okay. All right.
PC board being reworked.
Yeah. Just like my binocular microscope, I got a bunch of junk laying under it that I don't have a place to put anywhere.
Yep. I
Yeah,
just
okay. All right.
cleaned
so,
mine up the other day.
All right. So what do we make him? 6, something like that.
I gave him a 6.
Okay.
He's still got white space.
All right. Let's see who this is. Smitty Nash. I don't know. That looks pretty good to me. Oh, what happened to Smitty? What's going on here? Something's going on. There we go. All right. There's
Oh
Smitty.
no, that's way too organized.
looks-
He's
that
got it
looks
in
clean.
totes and
Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks clean, man. Look, he even got a garbage bag tied to his desk right there to
yeah,
put garbage in,
no,
man.
no, that's
You know,
That's not gonna
he
fly.
is so neat with a garbage bag and everything. So yeah, I'd give him what? 2? What do you think?
3.
Okay, all right, we'll give him a 3.
It's way too organized. The garbage bag really ruined it.
Yeah, I did. And look at it. Everything's neat on the shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he sent this into the wrong contest. Smitty sent it in the wrong contest. Yeah. All right. Well, did I miss everybody, or is that all we got tonight?
Well, you've got my screen share.
Well, let's see. Your screen share. Oh yeah. Okay.
It'll come in his window.
There we
yeah.
go. Okay. All right. Let's see what you got. Let's just zoom in there. You're about like Smitty. Well, I don't know. That desk is pretty cluttered.
He's got one clear corner.
You know what? I mean, I think you're at least a 6. Yeah. Yeah, you're pretty messy. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can see all the rigs.
Clifton thinks you get a 7. Yeah, you're pretty bad. All right, all right. I think that's all.
Yeah, but look, zoom all the way out.
Zoom out.
Zoom all the way out. Look, it's a heart healthy ham shack. I've got a treadmill in there.
You sure do. You sure do. Okay.
So I can be working DX and working the treadmill.
All right. Well. All right. Well, that was our segment on messy, cluttered shacks tonight. Thanks everybody for sending in their pictures there. Hey, let me tell you something. I built something for my workbench. We're out of time here.
Okay.
I built something for. Hey, wait a minute. I'm seeing Brett's messy shack behind him. Yeah. Yeah. Let me look at. That looks pretty messy. Yeah.
If I duck out of the way, you can see more of it.
Yeah, I'd pick
Yeah,
up
that
some.
is-
I'd pick up some of those papers. They may catch on fire there. Man. All right, I've got an Astron power supply just like that.
Yeah,
Well, let's
That's
do what
reasonably
the
messy.
RS something, RS 30 or 35 or
RS 35.
Clifton's giving you an 8.
yeah. All right, Clifton said you're an 8. All right, well,
And that green
I'll
thing
agree with
there,
Clifton.
what's that green thing?
the green thing right here. That's the counter when I call the local net. That's how I count the check-ins.
Oh,
Oh,
So
nice
those
trick.
counters that you squeeze.
okay. All right. All right, guys. Well, look, hey, I was going to show you something. Hey, boy, we're running out of time here. We're having so much fun. Hey, I've got an accessory I built. I've got an accessory that I built for my workbench area. And out of all the things on that workbench, I like this better than anything. I'm going to show you what it is. I'm going to show you what it is. See all those cables on the wall next to the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. There we go. Guys, that is a cable organizer that I built. It's just a strip of wood and about 30 nails, 30 small nails, and I screwed it on the wall. And let me tell you, I'm happier with that than any other thing on that workbench. Because
Yeah, it's a great idea.
because the cables, I see them, I can reach over there and pick off one very simple. I don't have to reach in that drawer anymore, and they're all tangled up in knots. You know, where's the end of this sucker, you know? I mean,
I had to do that today.
it is, it's so pleasant to have something this simple to build and put up, and
I like that.
it's just nails about every 3/8 of an inch apart, just some little small nails with, big heads on it. And that way you can stick a cable in between them there, and it holds it fine, So if you're looking for some type cable management system, this is the way to, if you don't have this, you need to get it. All right. Okay, so one more thing I was going to talk about tonight was just ideas on building a functional workbench. I'm going to show you what I did, and everybody has their own ideas and thoughts about how to build or what to use. But guys, I want to show you something. I don't have all my pictures loaded. If you're looking at the bottom left of this bench, you'll see two cabinets. I've got 4 cabinets under there. They got drawers and open doors. You can go to any surplus cabinet or surplus lumber place, and you can get these little cabinets pretty cheap. You know, they're unfinished, not painted. They're like kitchen cabinets. Now, normally your cabinets have this little kick, I call it kick area underneath the bottom. You know, they have a little couple-inch inset at the bottom, and they're actually about 4 inches taller. I sawed that off where my cabinets laid flat. And so I got 2 cabinets on that side. I got 2 cabinets on the right side. Yeah, toe kick, yeah. The surface there is a piece of like kitchen counter. You can see it's got the front curved edge on it, and then look at the back of the top of the table there. You can see it's got the 4-inch curved up piece on the back. That's the splash plate or whatever, you know. So you can pick those up for just about nothing. They got a nice surface. That actually, that surface there, I've been using that thing for at least 15 years, and it has held up very well. And on the back, you can see where it turns up. If you use just that from the back where it curves up to the front edge, it's only about 30 inches deep, so it's not deep enough to put test equipment on. But what I did was I took another board, say a 12-inch wide board, and I put it on the back there, and I made it flush with that splash, I'll call it splash plate back there, you know, where it curves up. I put a 12-inch board back there, flush with the top edge of that, and that gave me an area to set test equipment back in. Now the thing is, it's plenty of room to set things like voltmeters, your newer scopes, spectrum analyzers, watt meters, SWR, antenna tuners and stuff. You got plenty of room. You notice though, I've got, see the scopes that are over on the left there, left end of the workbench. I had to put them there because these scopes are longer than 12 inches. You know, they're about 18 inches long. So it won't hold a long piece of equipment very well, but it will definitely hold, you know, your newer stuff, your newer scopes and voltmeters and test equipment. But you can build a bench like that very inexpensively. Put me a shelf above it, and you can see I use just the metal iron shelf holders. I put them about every 3 feet because there is some weight up there. And another thing that's really neat, and I like a whole lot about this, is if you look down the strip of that top, if you look down the top of the top shelf, if you look on the front edge, I've got power, I guess you call it a power strip. Actually, there's 2 of them on there, and they run from end to end. And it's pretty easy. I mean, and I've got a lot of that stuff plugged in underneath the workbench. That power strip is just stuff that I'm working on. And believe it or not, a lot of those get taken when I start working on things. A lot of that stuff, it takes a lot more receptacles than you think. So power strip across the top like that, you know, your kitchen counter right there, a shelf on the back of the kitchen counter. You can't beat the cheap non-finished cabinets. You can get them with 3 drawers, 4 drawers, 1 drawer, door on the bottom. You know, you can get them any configuration. And at my other house, this workbench was over 20 feet long. When I got here to this house, this room is a lot smaller. So my workbench here is only 10 feet long. So I use 2 cabinets under each end. And you can put a support between the cabinets underneath there to help support the top of the table there. And it's strong. I can actually stand on that and change fluorescent light bulbs that are above it. I've got 2 very bright fluorescent fixtures above the workbench there. And on the other side of the shack over my operating position, I have another fluorescent light fixture up there. So that's kind of it. That's our story, and I'm sticking to it tonight. We've passed our time we normally would cut off. So, and look at there. Okay, we've got, Brett's got some cables hanging there. Oh,
Yep,
looks
and
like,
that is a shower rod, and those are shower curtain hooks.
oh,
So that's the way
yeah,
I organize mine.
yeah. Cool. Maybe, do they get wet when you take a shower?
Well, there's no shower in the shack yet. Maybe there should be.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, very good. Okay,
wrong
guys.
contract.
Well, hey, had a good night tonight? Is that a Tech 2215, Tom? I think it is a 2215. I think. Let me look and see. I'll look real quick. Oh, let's see. It is a 2235 100 meg scope. 2235, and above it we've got a that's the Tektronix, by the way, and above it I got a Hitachi oscilloscope. A guy gave it to me in Huntsville last year. The scope above the one with the blue screen, and I cleaned that thing. It was a little dirty, but hey, a little bit of Windex or 409 or Krug Buster, and man, that thing cleaned up really, really good. Okay, guys, hey, we had a good time tonight. Thanks everybody for joining us, and you've been watching or listening to Amateur Radio Roundtable, show about ham radio and shortwave and electronics. We'll see you next week. You can tune in Tuesday night, next week, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock p.m. on w5kub.com, and join us in the chat room and watch the show. You can get us on Facebook, YouTube, or x.com. 73, good night, everybody. See you next week.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
All right. All right, fixing to